Good morning, my name is Laura from the Sustainability Agenda, your sustainable podcast. Today we'll be discussing SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and their importance towards diversity, equality, and inclusion. We have our SDG consultant, Thomas Aristizabal, that will be giving us further insights on some of the SDGs and their importance.
Good morning, Laura, to you and the audience. Thank you for having me. It is an honor to be here today, and hopefully, I can help you understand such an interesting topic and give you valuable insights.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Let's start with the questions. Thomas, tell us what are SDGs?
The Sustainable Development Goals are a set of 17 goals created and adopted by the United Nations in 2015 for their 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. These SDGs aim to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure prosperity for all by 2030. Going into further detail, these 17 goals cover different issues ranging from poverty, health, hunger, education, and gender equality, to name just a few. I will now go into further depth into three very important SDGs, in my opinion, for Colombia right now. The first SDG we'll talk about is SDG 8, which refers to decent work and economic growth. This goal aims to promote sustainable economic growth, full employment, and decent work for all. This includes improving access to financial services and markets, promoting entrepreneurs and innovation, and enhancing the productivity and competitiveness of small and medium-sized enterprises. This goal also seeks to eliminate forced labor, child labor, and human trafficking, and to protect labor rights as a whole to all citizens. The next SDG is SDG 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions. The goal of this SDG is to promote peaceful and inclusive societies, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. This includes reducing violence and corruption, promoting the rule of law, and ensuring equal access to justice and promoting fundamental freedoms. This goal is key for Colombia in this moment, as we know it is a country full of violence and corruption, and there are things that need to be tackled nowadays. The last SDG we'll talk about is SDG 17, which is partnerships for the goals. The goal of this SDG is to strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnerships for sustainable development in all of its stakeholders. This includes enhancing international cooperation, improving access to technology, and increasing the funds for sustainable development. All of its stakeholders alike must work in partnerships for this to be successful. By this, I mean from governments, NGOs, non-profits, corporations, financial institutions, and of course, citizens alike. It's key for all of its stakeholders to work alike for this to be successful and have a correct implementation.
Sounds quite interesting. However, I seem to not understand how SDGs are applicable to business context.
Great question, Laura. I will give you two examples on how companies are positively impacting these goals so that you better understand business context regarding SDGs. The first example I will give is SDG 8, which is, as I said before, decent work and economic growth. A good example is Mercacentro, a Tolima-based company that provides fair wages, safe working conditions, and opportunities for career development for its employees, while also contributing to economic growth and the communities in which it operates. After doing a thorough investigation in other classes regarding this company, it was evident how they have great importance towards having a decent work and economic growth to all its working partners alike, giving them a lot of opportunities to them, their families in education, financial access, and other social aspects as a whole. Another great example in the business context is Goal 17, which are companies that collaborate with other organizations such as NGOs or government agencies to promote sustainable development and achieve the SDGs. A good example is Earthbank, a digital banking and investment platform which is aligned with sustainability and sustainable development. Some of its products vary from carbon credits, seagrass meadows, carbon conservation, agroforestry, social capital projects, and large scale reforestation alike.
Great answers. I have a better understanding on how SDGs are applied to business. One final question. Do you think SDGs are important for DEI and how do they impact?
Well, answering your question on how SDGs are related with DEI and their impact on DEI, well, as the name says, SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals are a set of goals that were adopted by the UN to promote sustainable development. Several of these goals are directly related to diversity, equality, and inclusion. A good example is Goal 5, which aims to close the gap of gender equality. Another example is Goal 10, which is reduce inequalities. And finally, Goal 16, which we already talked about, which talks about peace, justice, and strong institutions. These are more specific. They also help businesses and organizations alike promote DEI in their operations and contribute to a more equitable and inclusive society. Also, individuals can use SDGs to promote DEI in their personal lives. A good example is they can educate themselves about the SDGs and the ways in which they can relate to the DEI, and they can advocate for policies and practices to promote sustainable development and social justice in their communities alike. They can also support the businesses and organizations that are working towards the SDGs and encourage others to do the same. By working together, individuals can help create a more equitable and inclusive society for all.
What a great conversation, Thomas. I'm sure the audience and myself are experts in SDGs. Thank you very much. Do you have any final comment?
A final conclusion on DEI and SDGs. I think it's growing each day in importance in all stakeholders alike. Everybody from citizens, companies, governments, NGOs are revisiting internal operational aspects and doing internal audits on how they can improve in different aspects to be more diverse, equal, inclusive, and other sustainable aspects that include ecological, social, and governance aspects. Growing towards this is really important, and highlighting the importance of DEI in company practices is really important. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the audience, and any additional information, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you very much to our special guest, Thomas, for this knowledge and time. Don't forget to tune in next Monday.